Hey, this is Duck No Turkey, and today we're here to talk about the huge new ban announcement that they made. Today is January 25th, 2022, so this did just happen pretty recently. Here are the announcements right here. Um, so we have All Runs Epiphany. They did highlight this last time they were talking about banning stuff. They did give us a slide when Crimson Vow was coming out. They said, let's see how this works out. Crimson Vow, I do believe, had one or two cards that were in the set that kind of disrupt hands. So they figured, hey, um, if somebody's running these cards, maybe these cards could be meta breaking. Unfortunately, they weren't. So they did go ahead and banned All Runs Epiphany. With me, this is pretty fine. I mean, none of my decks right now in Standard or Alchemy run All Runs Epiphany. Um, I feel like it's just it's great if that's your strategy. Like in Standard, a lot of control decks. This is a great win con, right? But a lot of the times that I ran All Runs Epiphany, if you don't have things set up perfectly, it's kind of just taking an extra turn, putting 2/1/1s onto play, and then your next turn you get to do a few things, right? Because you get the extra turn. But you're not winning the game. I've seen bans in the past like Thassa's and stuff like that, where that's the win. Like you play that card, you win the game. So All Runs Epiphany, it's fine. Again, it's nothing to go crazy about. I do have in real life and paper Magic about three play sets of All Runs Epiphany, some foils, some full art, some whatever. So I'm probably going to go to my card store today and sell those before they go from $10 to $2. Um, Divide by Zero is your next guide. Another one that's iffy to me, right? Like you have the control decks, you have like Hullbreaker Horror, you have your Leer. Divide by Zero is just that annoying third turn play. But for example, we go first, our second turn, we play Creature. Their third turn, they're playing Control. So first and second turn, they really didn't do anything. Third turn, they didn't get the perfect draw with the iteration. So they're just holding up the Divide by Zero, and they pass the turn. It comes to our turn. We're now able to untap, attack, right? Play our land and say, you know what? My fourth turn Solomon, or my fourth turn Sorin, right? Something like that. I know it's going to just get Divide by Zero, so I go ahead and pass the turn, right? It's now his fourth turn, right? He's going to play a land. Now he has the ability to play, if we were in Alchemy, like the Key of Archive, or he might hold up, and now he has two options: the Divide by Zero or the Memory Deluge, right? But Divide by Zero is not altering the game at all. It is just a key piece to mono blue and any blue type of control. So banning this basically allows other creatures who are overpowerful to be a little less powerful. So Divide by Zero. And then the last ban for Standard is going to be, let me move the screen down, is going to be Faceless Haven. Now, Faceless Haven, and I'm sure in the bottom they're going to give you descriptions of everything and why they banned it. But Faceless Haven right now is nothing that I think is too crazy. They did nerf it for Alchemy. That worked out perfectly. People don't really care for it anymore. In Standard, the only reason I can see it being banned is just to slow down your monocolored decks, right? Because not every deck runs snow. People aren't just splashing snow lands to run Faceless Haven. So with that being said, you're looking at your mono reds, your mono whites, your mono greens, right? When they're dead in the water, they have one creature on the field. This is your time to really shine as a control deck. This is what they call your turn in the corner now in the game. Um, you have Faceless Haven, right? And oddly enough, your divide by zero, right, is mana value 1 or greater, so it doesn't even get rid of Faceless Haven, which is funny because I feel like there's something funny with these two cards. But with the Faceless Haven, right, it's just giving that monocolored deck the gas, the steam to push it to the end, which I don't hate on. And again, if every deck was able to run Faceless Haven because of like the snow factor, let's say it was just 3 colorless for a 4/3 with Vigilance, then I understand it. But just banning this basically says like, hey, mono red, mono green, you're not really going to be as good as before. Mono white still has every rare and every good card that came out, so mono white will be fine. But those were the standard bans. Down to Legacy, I don't really play Legacy, but Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer, I have been hearing a few little combos and things like that, especially if you could like somehow grab people's cards that kind of shuffle up the deck or something like that. But Ragavan definitely is a good card, but at a 2/1 in Legacy, I feel like there's a lot of 1 mana, even 0 mana things to deal with it. So that's banned. Then in Historic, we have from the suspended list to the now banned list is Memory Lapse. Basically, I think with this one is Memory Lapse is a very, 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 very good, solid countered spell. And being blue is not only becoming very heavy in our standard, it is probably the best in Historic. Blue, white, blue artifacts, affinity, stuff like that. And Memory Lapse is in most of those decks. So now it's not. It's banned. And then Teferi, I think we have right here the regular version, 3 mana, 4. So they said that they nerfed this, they rebalanced it and unbanned it. So you can probably maybe see it costing a little bit more mana because it coming in the battlefield and instantly being a 5 is just way too crazy. But yeah, those are the cards that they have banned right now. If you do go on the Magic Wizards website and look up banning cards, they do give us a little reasoning for why they banned everything. Basically saying that when Kamigawa comes out, they're not trying to leave any room for any of the shenanigans. They want it to be a very nice, friendly game set. They don't want everybody just running Epiphanies. And I think if you guys remember in the Strixhaven professional qualifier thingies, nobody used one single card from Strixhaven. And that just happens when you build really strong sets and really strong, like really weak sets. That's just what happens. And then archetypes with learn and stuff like that, and the lessons not being that crazy. Like right now, your learn cards, right? Alrund's Epiphany, or not Alrund's Epiphany, your divide by zero, right? And then what do you guys get? You guys usually get the draw card off your sideboard, right? I mean, sometimes you'll get the land, but most of the times you're getting the draw card. So yeah, I can see why this is all getting banned. And again, it just tells you why blue decks are just so powerful in the late game. Then to add that whole ability to double your spells, because a few of the cards in these sets, right, they have like the dual strike and the blue-red card from Strixhaven, and then the new iteration, right? It just makes it so unfair when a blue deck could reach 6 turn, 7 turn. You just have no real chance. And then it goes into divide by zero, basically giving those decks flexibility, right? Like, I'm not going to let you counter a spell, or I'm not going to let you play a spell second turn because I'm going to counter it. Third turn, I'm going to all runs. Fourth turn, I'm going to try to play something that gives me mana ramp or draw ramp. And then fifth or sixth turn, you're just that's it, right? And then it's going to highlight Leer and also Hullbreaker. Basically, when they highlight cards, that means that their eyes is on it, and basically instead of banning these cards. They chose to ban Divide by Zero, which just adds so much more value to these guys. Somebody goes ahead and tries to kill your Lier, you can divide your own Lier. So I understand that. The most winning decks in Magic the Gathering Arena are all been mono-colored decks, so mono white, mono green. And while each owns part of its success to preying upon blue-red Epiphany decks, both decks have had high win rates against the field, which basically counteracts everything they're saying about blue-red is the best. Basically, mono-white and mono-green are the best. And it's all a draw thing, right? Like mono-white, there's a draw from them where it's like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, you're done. Like, and to get that draw with blue-red is a little bit harder because it starts at like second and third and fourth. It doesn't just start off every time on first turn. But basically, they're banning Faceless Haven here instead of some of the white crazy cards, which none of the white cards are too crazy. They're just very good synergies. But basically, banning Faceless Haven because, again, when you are on that corner turning play with mono blue or blue white control or any control deck, you usually get the board gone, you get everything gone, and for the first time in the game, you're tapped out, and you're thinking like, he has nothing to do. He's going to have to top deck the best card ever, which in mono white, like, it's not going to be the craziest top deck. It's going to get them there. It's going to be building. But then they have the Faceless Haven just to keep smashing in for 4. And 4 damage is good. I mean, 4 times 5 is 20. So they just need to attack in 5 times with Faceless Haven and the game is over. But Faceless Haven banned. Legacy, it gives us all the reasons for Ragavan, all these combo cards you can do, and it's so early in the game that most of the times you are getting in for that attack. And then Historic, blue decks are just too strong in Historic, so Memory Lapse, they just need to get rid of completely. And then Teferi, they're basically making it into a safer version for Historic, because if you watch a lot of the older Magic Online or older arena footage where people are playing that blue-white control, it's often they don't lose. Out of 100 games, they lose 0. So I do hope you guys appreciated this, and I hope it was informative. I know today I am going to be looking at all my decks because I think I just almost hit Mythic, and I'm using like a mill deck, which I know, guys, I know it's mill. I'm sorry. But the Divide by Zero is like the biggest part of my mill deck. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty crazy for me. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know how you guys feel about the banning. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page if we play Standard. I think we're all kind of very scratching our head if we play Alchemy, because both these cards have been nerfed and it was successful because you don't see them too much in Alchemy. But let me know. Thank you.